Even during the most viewed finals in the history of the W, the biggest story wasn't who'd win the championship. Congrats, Vegas. It was the standoff over the league's future. Because this isn't just a contract negotiation, it's a reckoning over power, value, and trust. I'm Lerae, your favorite lawyer, and this is the Rapid Refresh. This episode breaks down the standoff that's defining the WNBA right now. Where player trust, leadership, credibility, and the league's future are all on the line. In a new bird's eye view conversation, Bird and Nneka Ogwumike unpacked how we got here. Sue, who was on the negotiation committee for the 2020 CBA, called that CBA the shirt before the shirt. A deal built on trust, players believing growth would come even before the data did. Now that growth is real. Record attendance, triple valuations, and a $200 million a year media deal on deck. That trust has to yield results. And that's where the current president, Nneka, steps in. She calls this next deal transformational, not incremental, because the last model wasn't built to grow with the business. Players want compensation that scales with success, true skin in the game. But the league's latest proposal, as reported by Front Office Sports, tells a very different story. There is no $1 million supermax. Instead, a top salary around $850,000 and a veteran minimum near $300,000 are included in the proposal. Now, that is an improvement from $249,000 and $78,000, but it's not transformational. And the fine print always matters. Revenue sharing still only activates if the league hits preset targets using the exact same formula from 2020. And that's the issue. Next year, media rights alone jump from $60 million to $200 million, yet player share stays locked around 7%. So when the WNBA calls this a compelling proposal, players hear something else. A league defining progress down. Especially after the same leadership sold 1/6 of the league for $75 million in 2022, while today expansion teams are paying $250 million each. That's not just bad math, it's a financial misstep that's now defining Cathy Engelbert's credibility. So the tension between Cathy Engelbert, the owners, and team presidents also has been building for months. Sources describe strained relationships extending across leadership ranks, where even those who once supported her now question if she can effectively lead CBA negotiations. They call her a brilliant businesswoman, but with a communication style that's alienated key stakeholders. At the heart of it all is a very costly mistake, the 2022 capital raise. Engelbert led a $75 million sale for a 16% stake in the league, implying a $468 million valuation for the WNBA. That's a figure now widely seen as dramatically undervaluing the league, given that single franchises are now valued between $325 to $450 million. Essentially, the league sold equity that's now worth billions for less than $500 million total. That sale also complicated the WNBA's ownership map, just as CBA talks were ramping up. The league is now split among NBA owners, WNBA owners, and investors. And several investors now sit in multiple groups. Some have effectively double dips in voting power, giving them more influence than others in their same tier. In short, the structure of who controls the league got really murky right before negotiations began. If Engelbert's support among owners collapses, it's not just a personal crisis, it's a governance one. The CBA expires October 31st, and insiders don't expect an agreement in time. But even a 60-day extension would delay the expansion draft for Toronto and Portland and disrupt free agency, which is set to be the craziest we've ever seen, creating chaos before the league's most pivotal growth year. And that's why this moment matters. What looks like a player versus league standoff is really a power audit, and through all of this, Bird and Ogwumike's conversation reframed what accountability looked like in real time. They've learned that silence doesn't move the needle, but noise without strategy doesn't sustain it either. It's about when to speak, how to listen, and how to protect the main thing, the game. And I'll be honest, hearing this alongside these new revelations reframed how I see this moment too. But this phase isn't just about money. It's about structure, it's about credibility, and who earns the right to define progress in a league that's finally thriving. The reality is none of us on the outside had the full picture. We're all watching it unfold in real time. This CBA will decide who actually benefits from the house the players built, whether the leadership guiding it can evolve with the legacy they've created. Stay tuned for part 2 of my rapid rundown, Who Runs the WNBA. Part 2 goes over the money, the model, and the myth of progress, because this story doesn't just stop at leadership, it follows the money. I'll see you very soon.